Now that your dolly is completely assembled, it's time to connect it to your vehicle. Your dolly is upgraded to the newest generation and is made from galvanized steel, ensuring that it won't rust. The following video is of our older generation tow dolly. However, they are functionally the same. So, let's get started. The ideal height of your hitch is between 14 and 16 inches from the ground to the bottom of the coupler. However, if you're ever towing a low-profile vehicle, you will want your hitch height set at 12 inches. Purchase a drop bar if necessary. Our dolly tongue is equipped with a 2-inch ball housing. Be sure to lock the safety pin in place. The self-latching safety chains should be crossed underneath and attached to the hitch. The emergency breakaway cable should be looped through the hitch and back to itself as shown. Connect the 4 flat wire harness. Use an adapter if necessary. Your hydraulic disc brake tow dolly is equipped with a self-actuating brake system. All you have to do is put it on the ball. Should you have the need to lock out your dolly's brakes for any reason, it is very simple to do. Simply take the included key and tape it in place. This will prevent your brakes from engaging. Be sure to remove it for normal use. DOT regulations do not allow for a permanent lockout feature. This slotted area is the amount of braking range you have. If your brakes are completely disengaged, this pin should be all the way forward. Your disc brakes never need adjusting. However, as the brake pad wears down, it will be necessary to add some brake fluid. There are 2 caps in place, a dust cover cap and the actual rubber cap to the reservoir. Clean away any dirt or dust. Carefully remove both and top up the reservoir with DOT 3 or 4 brake fluid. The reservoir only holds about 1 ounce of fluid and should not be filled to the brim. Be very careful to properly reseat both caps. The top cap is often lost because it is not properly reseated. The winches should be placed on the tow dolly on the center tire tread of the vehicle you're towing. Having the winch too far to either direction will cause fraying of the strap. Once the winches are placed in the correct position on the tow dolly, they should be completely tightened down. The bolt will be on the outside to tighten, and the release bar will be down. Our tow dolly is equipped with SureGrip galvanized steel ramps. The ramps have a very aggressive tread. It is a good idea to wear gloves. The ramps have multiple positions they can be placed in. This will accommodate 98% of all cars. Okay, your dolly is now ready to load. The dolly and the towing vehicle should be straight in line with one another. The vehicle you're about to load should be straight to the dolly and evenly spaced. Make certain the ramps are in the best position for your car's tires. It is best to have a person observing from the outside, but not necessary. If you have an observer, they should stand to the corner, not between the dolly and the RV. Agree on the hand gestures or communication before beginning. You want to drive up the steel ramps nice and steady with 1 foot over the brake. Slowly pull up to the front of the dolly till your tires are touching the front stops. Apply your parking brake to hold this position. If you centered and squared your car to the dolly, then both of your car tires are now touching the front of the dolly, and the winches are centered to the tire. And when not in use, our newly re-engineered steel ramps are designed to store on the dolly exactly as seen here. When slightly offset, they will lock together. Make sure to bolt them down tightly so that they won't slip in transit, or simply stow them in your car trunk. Your dolly is equipped with the newest generation wheel straps. They're very easy and intuitive to use. There is not a left or right, and they are fully adjustable. The straps have an adjustable length that can be shortened by nearly 1 foot. In the area where you attach your hooks, there are 3 stitched areas, so you can shorten or lengthen the straps if necessary. The cross straps should be placed at 12 o'clock, 1:30, and 3 o'clock if you're looking at the driver's side. You'll also notice 2 sewn loops on the cross straps. You can use the inside loops or the outside loops, depending on the width of the tire. Simply attach the hooks to the appropriate slots on the back of the dolly. The hooks should be slightly to the outside of the tire. Use the outer tie loop if you're towing a very wide vehicle. Then drape the wheel strap over the dolly and feed the long strap through the winch. Be certain that the strap and winch are centered on the tire tread. Use a 1 1/8 inch wrench, socket, or adjustable ratchet to tighten the wheel straps. There should not be any abrasion point on the straps at the winch or behind the tires. You must check visually and by hand to verify that there are no abrasion points. The most common abrasion point is the strut. These straps and winches are laboratory tested. They do not break, but they can be cut or abraded through. Be sure to look carefully at the lock to ensure that the teeth and the gear are fully seated to one another. New straps will stretch some. Make a few wide, slow turns both ways in a parking lot. Get straight and retighten the straps. Be sure to stop after the first few miles to retighten the straps again. Then, check and tighten as needed every time you stop. The dolly wheels should be torqued to 75 foot-pounds of torque. Our Easy Tow Car Tow dolly wheels now utilizes balancing beads, an internal balancing system also common on expensive RVs. No need to balance the tires. Your tow dolly is equipped with safety chain banjos. Every car is different, so you have to determine the best place to attach the S-clip to your car's suspension. Then run the other end of the chain through the banjo. Leave a little slack, an inch or two. Then connect the S-hook back to itself to ensure it doesn't hop loose. Okay, we're ready to go on the road now. A few things first, though. Check and verify that all your dolly lights are working correctly. Be sure to take the parking brake off. Leave your transmission in park. If your car has a locking steering column, it must be left in the unlocked position. If this results in the battery being left on, you have 3 choices. Disconnect one terminal of the battery, install a battery quick disconnect, or pull the ignition fuse. Same as towing a 4-flat would require. You can buy a memory-saving device at the auto parts store. A 9-volt battery that plugs into the 12-volt outlet. It will save all your settings. Another option for unlocking the steering column, instead of disconnecting the battery, like this. Insert the key into the ignition. Turn the key to the on position. Turn the key to the off position. Do not remove the key from the ignition. Move the steering wheel back and forth. The steering wheel should remain unlocked while the key is in the ignition. When the key is removed, the steering column locks when moved. Nearly all Asian imports and most domestic vehicles built since 2009 have operated this way. During this demonstration drive, we will be making some 90-degree turns, a few hard braking stops, and returning to base. In this shot, you will want to observe that the towed car's wheels never move on the dolly. The car is turning on its suspension. Simple but profound. Most modern car manufacturers no longer use the locking steering columns as part of their security system. This is why we took the articulating pan out of our design several years ago. This is the future of tow dollies. Note in these suspension shots that there is a lot of muscling and moving around of the towed car's suspension. It is essential that the towed car's suspension has some freedom to move and flex. In this interior shot, the steering wheel has worked briskly to accommodate these hard 90-degree turns. If your vehicle does have a locking steering column, it is important to leave the steering column unlocked to turn freely. If your vehicle does not have a locking steering column, then you can just load and go. In these suspension shots, we're traveling down the interstate at 70 miles per hour. The safety chains and attaching banjos help to eliminate yaw and travel in tight turns. It is important to leave a few inches of slack in the safety chains to allow the towed car to flex or move some. Here, we're demonstrating the function of the disc brake actuator. As you can see, the actuator action is very precise, proportional, and very responsive. There is no delay or chucking. It is a seamless, instantaneous transition from slight to hard braking. As soon as you pull forward, the brakes are quickly released. The Acme hydraulic disc brake actuator is always proportional and does not actuate when the dolly is unloaded, thus saving the dolly tires from locking up and wearing prematurely. Our disc brakes never need adjusting, but we recommend adding bearing lube every 4,000 to 5,000 miles. Unloading your towed car is very easy and fast. The RV, dolly, and towed car should all be straight before attempting to unload. Be sure that the towed vehicle is in park and the parking brake is on first, as your towed car may roll off the dolly if it is not. It is very important to be aware of the status of the parking brake before you attempt to get under the towed car for any reason. Simply use your wrench to rotate the spindle forward, holding the locking bar back, and release. Then hold it open to pull the strap out. If your winch is too tight and will not release this way, you can also hit the locking bar with a hammer and it will release. Attach the ramps to the dolly. Remove the wheel straps and safety chains. If the chains are pulled tight, try starting the car and pulling up an inch or so. The RV, dolly, and car should all three be straight again. If the car is sitting at an angle, the chains will be hard to remove as they will be under tension. Hey, save some money and get the best dolly available. Buy the galvanized ultralight easy tow car tow dolly today. Here at Car Tow Dolly Company, we believe that safe trailers save lives. Happy and safe motoring!